knock the bark off the tree, and as the sap comes out, they get that with their finger, put that on their tongue, drink it down with a bit of water, but only when they were really desperate for that to use it. They knew how much to take. If they had too much, they could get really sick, maybe die from it through trial and error. That's how they found out about these things. So we have about 6 different type of tree like this one around. If you were camping in the bush anywhere, it's a nice big pool of water, but it has to be still, not running. 15, 20 barramundi swimming in there wouldn't take your line. Always knock the bark off the tree, crush it all up, throw it in the water, and you can sit on the bank and relax for about 30 to 45 minutes, and all the barramundi come up to the top. It doesn't kill the fish to run out of oxygen. So once the sap sets in the bottom, 30, 45 minutes later, they start swimming around again. So you can pick out what you want and leave the rest in the rain. Rainforest people built a lot of shelter shaped with Indian teepees. They have a lot of bunk ones. It does get pretty damp in the rainy season. So once they've built their shelter, you lie a dry piece of wood inside the shelter so close together, and they collect these paper bark and they pack it on the top so high. It's just like mattress, nice and soft and to lie on, but it's sleeping pretty comfortable and off the damp ground. They have a lot of use of paper bark to build the shelter. Use it as a mattress. We use it for cooking our meat in the ground to give that beautiful flavour. And we use it for healing too. It's like a medicine to us, and we still even use it today. It lasts for 45 minutes or longer. And the smoke from the candle is good for mosquitoes, to keep the mosquitoes away. I don't have any fire stick to light this up here, but I have a cigarette lighter. Don't smoke, but I carry one around. Come in handy sometimes. And that rock down there is about 14,000 years old. Around there. And normally when I go camping, I take a couple of shopping bags full out and just throw half in the fire, sit around the fire and keep the mosquitoes away. There we go. There's the candle. On the bottom, you'll see it when you come through after. So this part here is pointing back beyond this tree here. It's telling us an old walking track down in there. The bit on this side here is facing straight down to the ground. So it's telling us a walking track right here. 1.5 kilometre, you'll always find a tree with a bend in it. Unless you are not poison, which is good, will give you a nasty cut on your skin. But what rainforest people normally do, they pick out the really thick ones, they knock the spike from each end, leave a few in the centre, and they use it as a saw or a knife to cut their meat with. The barb is so hard and sharp and it won't break. But if you're camping in the bush anywhere, if you've been lost in the rainforest anywhere, you don't have any fishing line to get yourself a fish, always get the old wader wall, but it has to be a really thick one. Knock the spike from one end and leave a few down on the other end there, put a bit of meat on there, and as the fish takes the bait, it goes right into their stomach and you pull them out. And I've tried it before and it does work, so you always have yourself a line. And there. Most of these colours I'm going to show you later on their way back down. Pick up from the creek back down here. It's called ochre. Back in the early days when the old people used to come around on their walkabout, they would always paint over the same painting, and the ochre keeps soaking into the rock. Back in the early days they mainly painted things what they see, and things what they kill to eat. So on my left hand side here, the dingo. Dingo is not from Australia, it's originally from Asia. Back then when the old people saw young pups around, took them, grew them up and used them as a hunting dog. This one down here is a sea turtle, a little bit like a crab. Cassowary, stingray, 2 boats in the centre here. You see a guy like this one here with that special headgear on, they're the old warriors. Freshwater turtle and cassowary footprint. They use a lot of cave painting like this one here for storytelling. A lot of them doesn't have any painting, they use it for camping. You see quite a few galleries that we have around. We don't have it here. At winter time they built these big mounds outside their gallery. It's built from mud. And on the top of the mountain, the whole about this round for the smoke to come out. And on the side about this round. So what they do, they throw wood inside this mound, they light it up, they throw rocks in there, and they plug the hole back up again on the side. And as the fire burns down, the rock in the mountain will get so hot and it's like a heater. So they sleep around the mountain and keep them so nice. And these guys will get chosen to get that 1 big long scar right across their stomach. And he could sit around a campfire with his clapstick and start chanting, meditating, he goes in trance. You could speak to a guy in Cairns, Port Douglas, maybe Kukuyulanji. This guy out there have to have the same scar. They're the only two guys who could speak to each other. And they call it the messenger line, not the song line. Yeah, as you go on, anybody, anything. When I got old enough, I was working in law as a community ranger to look after cape painting. Went to Atherton Tableland just west of Cairns. I did all my training up there. Went back to law, sitting down one day thinking about it. I should come to be a guide and tell people about these things. And that's what I've been doing for 32 years, man. Wow. I love doing it. Meet different people every day. Never stop talking. I talk too much. I had Jane Fonda on my walk here about 3-4 years ago. And nice lady to talk to. Yeah, Jane Fonda. And Peter Fonda. Peter's wife, Peter's daughter Bridget. Peter's wife is old Davy Crockett's granddaughter, the old actor. And just like she, that's what the old people used to do, their rock painting. And as we're going past Mosman towards Daintree, there's a creek out there. That's where we get these different coloured clay from. And we use these body paints. Okay? Ceremony, we put these stripes on these rocks. The stripe represents song line, messenger line, the rocks represent raindrops. The women back in the early days, my grandmother used to do that a lot. They'd go and get these colours here, really big ones. They'd set these clay underneath the fire, smoke it all out, and once these clay get so dry and hard, they'd sit down and eat the clay. So it's good for the bone, calcium, especially this colour here. And once this clay dries out, lasts about 5 to 6 hours, you can walk through water, it won't wash off, to really scrub it to get off the skin. Have some leaves in the water here. This tree grows along the edge of the rainforest. So if you were camping in the bush anywhere, don't have any soaked up the bark, this is your shampoo.
Shampoo.
It's called soap leaf.
Oh, wow.
Always got soap on the bark. Good for the skin. Doesn't give any smell from the leg, but can use the leaf for rash. It has to be nice and fresh. Put that on, it takes a few days, and take the rash away.